Hello all. Originally, this presentation was scheduled to be presented in the garden at the Naturopathic College in Tempe, and the material here on healing as a spiritual path, I'll say it's partly instructional, but it's also very much inspirational. One student whose predominant characteristic seemed to be suppressed anger, right? She had a client one time in the clinic, and she said, and the client had anger as an issue, and she said, we have to give her flower essences for that anger. We got to get rid of that anger. And what it was she hadn't found a way to integrate her own anger and integrate it into what part of that was constructive and protective and what part of that was maybe injurious to other people, right? Now, one year we had two students who had both had body image problems and disordered eating, right? And one of them had done a lot of work around that and had learned how to nourish herself better, right? Actually worked in a health food store, right? And the other hadn't done work around that. And it was to the point where when we had our diet diary class, that first person got so upset that she became enraged and stormed out of the room just from talking about a diet diary. You see that was a big issue there. Mm-hmm. And in the clinic, I kid you not, the first 8 clients for both of those students were women with disordered eating. People normally people don't talk about those things, and you come into a situation where you're letting certain boundaries down and certain things are being said. So by nature, there's a boundary problem when you're hearing a story like that. It only becomes a problem when you can't keep the boundary appropriate, right? When you don't start to become obsessed with the person's problems or whatever, start taking their problems on or things like that. Right? These are problems, but so there's no one answer to how do you deal with boundary problems. But the other side of don't give what you haven't got is don't take what isn't yours from somebody. And maybe we'll talk about this tomorrow in the morning when we start, but we could contemplate on that. How can you take from a patient? You want to try just for a minute? What comes to your mind? What comes from your mind? Pardon? Their power. That's one. Somebody else. That's a big one. That's probably the big one. Take their love. You want them to take the place of your family, or the love you don't have. You want to have your patients love you. Right? That's not their job.